Hey, this is part two of the friendship episodes. We're going to give you some tactile ideas of how to find the right friends, connect, make them long lasting. So, we've dealt with the friendship breakups. If you didn't catch that episode, listen back. And today we're going to talk about after the friendship breakup or just trying to expand your friendship
Yeah, you
circles.
don't even have to really have a friendship
True.
breakup, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about making more friends.
And it's so important. Do listen to that episode to find out why connection is so important because it literally will save your life. Literally.
Yes,
If you
yes.
want a long life, you need people to connect with.
That is one of the things in the common blue zones is this like sense of community, connection, friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That is how these people live healthy lives over 100 years old.
Yes.
And I think we think because it was so easy when we were younger, it's going to be easier or still as easy older.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true. It's just not true. It's so much harder to make friends now.
Yes. And I've heard this from many people. Obviously in childhood, it's pretty easy. You're doing sports together, you're doing class together, you're laughing, you're seeing each other, 5 days a week at least. And then when you have little kids that you go and like take them to the park, you just
Mommy
naturally,
groups.
you start talking to other parents and you have this commonality of like raising your little ones together. And sometimes if they do sports, you can make those friends too. But I think as the children grow and make their own friends, which they should, I think parents can isolate, get lonely, make their kid the center, and then that causes issue in creating deeper, richer friendships.
Yeah, I agree. I just think Mel Robbins talks about I think 5 things that lead to friendship. And a big one is proximity. You think you're going to just have people around you forever going through the same phase of life with you and experiencing all the same things. And for a long time, you do. You are in school. You've got those friends. You go to college. You've got those friends. You're in work, business. You've got those friends. You've got other moms. And then you get this phase of life where it's like, okay, the kids are leaving the house. So now I'm not as tied to their activities and all the friends that were tied to their activities. In fact, one of my best mom friends from our kids growing up and doing tennis together sent a reel to myself and another one of the best mom friends. And it is this mom in the reel is standing and the whole reel was nobody talks about how hard, how lonely it is after your kids leave because you lose those friends too. You lose those moms you were shoulder to shoulder with at the tennis matches, at the ball field.
Sure.
And you never think about that.
Right.
You're so busy thinking about the loss of these other parts of this phase of life that the friendships that go with it aren't the ones that you're really thinking
Not
about.
top of mind.
And so, that proximity, and then it's time. Are we on the same timeline? Because I might be running my kid every weekend to tennis matches, and you might be running your kid every weekend to softball. And my tennis practices with my kid, I'm running them to, don't coincide with your softball tennis practices for your kids. So now we've got maybe one day a year we can find commonality.
Right. And yeah, you have to make such a more of a conscious effort when you're an adult, with kids or career or whatever versus like while you're in school.
And sometimes I think that conscious effort feels like more energy than we have to give.
Yeah. Or it feels like a guilty pleasure that like maybe you won't allow yourself versus like a need.
Because you think, oh, well, I'm the only one who can take care of everything here at home. And I have to say no. I have to have somebody else drive my kid. I have to carpool my kid.
Right.
If I'm going to go out to dinner with this friend and not take them to practice or whatever. And I think then we're just exhausted. We're like, it's more effort than it's worth to try to find this one day a year I can connect with Marcie.
Right. And a thought I like to think around this is like, I will go to dinner with friends sometimes, or I have a salad club that I started, or spiritual dinner party or whatever. I want my girls, I have all girls, I want them to have adult friendships too. They need to have their people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm going to set the example, like, tonight I'm, going here or there, and I want them to know sometimes we prioritize this. It's not every night. It's not even once a week.
Yeah.
It's like every 2 months maybe, but they need to like have those other outlets as adults too.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We need to show and model to break this pattern, right? So that what we are experiencing with maybe some loneliness or feeling not connected, we stop that cycle
Right.
through our behaviors. And it takes a lot of bravery to put yourself out and make a new friend. You've got to really be willing to make the first move or be the first
Mhm.
one to say hi or whatever. And showing your children that
Yes.
they can do that through your example
Yes.
is going to lead to healthier, happier lives for them.
That's right.
So, mom, if you think you're sacrificing something, you're not being everything you're meant to be for your family, actually flip that on its head. You're
That's
being
right.
exactly what your kid needs
Yes.
when you
Yes.
put yourself first.
Yes. So this like parlays. Let's start kind of saying some ways to do this. So first one that comes to mind is like repeated contact. So if you go to an exercise class, if you join garden club, those will be repeated connections that kind of like back in the day when you were in elementary school and you had Mrs. Allen and you saw somebody 5 days a week. You're going to start making a connection.
Mhm.
It might be a smile, a wave, and I like your workout outfit today, whatever, but you're going to start like creating this little bit more of a bond.
Yeah, and be thoughtful. Like, what is it I enjoy doing or I want to enjoy doing? And then
Yes.
go do that thing. Like go to yoga and don't just go. Talk to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
force yourself out of your comfort zone. Say hi
Right.
first.
Yes, totally. And like you said, another really good one is like be that first one that makes the conversation start to flow.
I think sometimes we think we get into a room and we look around and we see, maybe somebody would walk into, let's just say, a yoga class and Marcie and I are there. And they go, well, they have their friends.
Just
You know,
those two
those two are
talking.
friends. They don't need a new friend.
Right.
And they don't know. Maybe Marcie and I literally just met that day.
Yeah, great point. Such a great point. The third step I would say then is moving it to like an outside the original location. Like so you meet that friend at yoga and then you'd be like, "Hey, do you want to go get a coffee after yoga? Or next week would you want to meet a coffee before or whatever?" But you have to move it to like a secondary location.
Yeah. Or, if you feel like that's bold and you're not like, I'm not comfortable doing that,
You
but
are or you're not.
I am.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God,
Good,
yeah.
good, good.
No. Yeah. If I decide I want you to be my friend, I will hunt you down like a
Yes.
dog until you tell me I don't want to be your friend.
You're like, I will poach you.
Yeah, you will be my friend and you will ride around in my pocket and call me pretty. Um, but no, but let's say you're not ready to make that step. Find common ground. Like, hey, I saw you go to meditation here. What's that like? I see they offer meditation classes. Have you ever tried them? Oh, yeah, I go every Monday. Do you really? And then you go on Monday.
Yes.
Do the
Yes.
slow burn, play the long game.
Right.
And then go and then be like, oh, hey, you convinced me.
Right. Right. And then I think another like step in the right direction to make an actual true friendship, ask better questions and then really listen and build on that.
Retain it.
Don't just listen and then like immediately want to start in on your own story. My dad, who's this engineer, is so good at this. He comes to the salon, he loves to meet my clients. It's so cute.
It's cute.
And so this one woman, I was like talking to him and she works with intervention radiologist and she was explaining to my dad these different procedures they do. And, he was like, wow. And how long does that procedure typically take? And he was like building on questions. Like he was so present, so into the conversation. Versus like, well, one time at work, I did blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, really listen. And that's also how you'll really get to know someone and they will feel very seen and very heard.
It's also an amazing filter because if you are doing that for someone and they aren't doing it back for you, this could be your first clue. Maybe this isn't a friend for you because they aren't interested in me. They're just more than happy to talk about themselves all day long. And they aren't saying, well, what about you? Tell me about this. So, that's, I think, another tip I would give is show up authentic.
Yes.
Don't show up at this version of yourself you think that person wants you to be because you're so desperate to make a new friend. Be authentic. And if that person ends up not being the one, move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, there's different levels of friendship, I think. I think I have lots of friends. Like, I have some that, like, we just talk about this surface thing or that surface thing. But also, I think kind of like that consistency piece, like owning a hair salon and having people come in. I feel like a lot of these clients that we sit together for 2 hours while I highlight their hair and cut and style, we have a deeper friendship just because we see and talk to each other, you know? So some of those people, I wouldn't tell them my darkest secrets, but we'll talk about Trader Joe's all day long. Okay, the next thing I think you need to really look at that kind of goes with this is, do you align with this person? Like, do they follow through on the commitment of getting together and hanging out? Are they gossiping? Do they energize you or do they drain you?
Hmm.
These are all things to kind of really look for when selecting a person you want to invest time and energy and connection with.
Yeah, and I think as soon as you know it's not aligned, that's okay too. They don't have to not be your friend. They just have to be the friend.
Right. Be consistent in building a new friendship, you know, text, call, talk, get together, but be consistent. And small, like reliability really equals big trust. An example that recently happened to me, we were doing some construction at the house, and the day they were starting, my husband was out of town for work. I was at my salon for work. And I asked one of my friends, is there any way you could come and sit? She works from home and work from my house just to let these contractors get started. And if they have a question, you can call me. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And then in turn, a few weeks later, her mom was having a big birthday, and I was like, "Can I help you throw that party?" Like, I appreciated so much that she was just willing to come sit in my living room
Hmm.
and work from there and not judging me that my kitchen wasn't perfectly
Yeah.
spotless. And like, to me, that's a true blue friend.
Yeah.
And in turn, when I can help her and be there for her. And so we threw this surprise party, and I went and set up while she wasn't even home because she was throwing the dog off the scent. She had taken her mom elsewhere, and I'm blowing up balloons and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And but I'm like, I will be a ride or die. If someone is there for me in my
Yeah.
hours of need or for my children in their hours of need, I'm like, I will be the best friend you've ever had and you don't even know.
Yeah. That I think is such a good point. What you want to receive, give.
Yeah.
Give it and give it without keeping score.
Yes.
That's not a friendship. Friendship is not about keeping score. Like, you did this for me, now I'll do this for you. But if you didn't do that for me, I wouldn't do it for you.
I agree with that. But I also think if someone's a constant energy zapper, a drainer, a take, 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 and then when you need them, that's not a real friend.
That's 100%. It's a law of averages, right? So it's not like it's going to be 50-50 every given week.
Yes. And it's not a tit for tat.
It is not a tit for tat. But if you're looking at 6 months of friendship and it's been 90% you and 10%
Yeah.
them, you might want to reevaluate.
Right. And there are some really selfish people out there and they might not even see it, but that's fine. Then you have permission to like not give as much and not care as much.
Yeah. And I think you've given the good example of, if I invite somebody to a party and they keep saying no, eventually I'm not going to invite them to the party anymore.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right? It's a
Yes.
very similar situation.
I
here.
always tell my kids and anyone that wants to hear it, to be a friend, you have to have a friend, you have to be a friend. So if someone's inviting you to something that took a lot of vulnerability for them, you better show up.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, balls in your court, you better invite them next time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you, in fact, this just happened to me recently. Things I've gone to support a friend that really, if I were to choose, I would not have gone to.
Sure, sure.
But I want to support that friend
Yeah.
because it's important to them. So it's important to me.
Yes.
Even if it's not the thing I would have chosen to do.
Right.
I'm able to put myself aside to show up for that
That's
human.
right. 100%. 100%. Okay. Another thing I think is really important, and I think some people naturally struggle with this, don't overshare too quickly.
Okay. I like the overshare in as a way of filtering.
Okay.
But that's my personality, right? And
Mhm.
so, of course, that's why I overshare, because my personality is to overshare, to filter. So I am a lot. And I want to know, can you handle this or can't you?
Mhm.
Because I don't want to waste my time, and I certainly don't want to waste my heart.
I will say, though, you say that there are things you've shared in our more recent part of our friendship that you did not share that first month?
No, I am very strategic with my share, but I do come in hot.
Okay, yeah,
You can admit that.
you do,
I
you
come in
do.
hot.
She'll be like, "Tell me your life story in 3 minutes or less."
I want to know. I want to know, can you be vulnerable with me? Because I'm going to be vulnerable with you. And if you can't match me in that energy, this friendship is going to have a certain level that it's going to max out at.
I know a few people that way overshared too early, and I'm like backpedaling slowly because I think some people just don't know appropriateness in society. And it's like, what are you doing? And so I think start light, build the
Read the
trust,
room.
and then kind of go deeper, deeper, deeper. And if you're willing to get vulnerable with someone, they should be willing to get vulnerable with you.
But don't be afraid to be authentic right away. Don't filter
Yeah,
who you are.
being authentic is very different than oversharing.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing is like showing up authentic and what feels real and true. Like to me, if I opened with like all these big things, heavy things, like I just don't trust everyone in the world with those parts of me.
And hey, listen, I'm not going to yoga and saying, hey, let me tell you about what happened to me when I was 6 years old while we're in downward dog. Like that's not happening. But what I can say is I go to places where that level of authenticity is encouraged. So I'm thinking about two of my closest friends I have today that I met a year ago. Well, I met them in a Reiki circle
Right.
where the whole point of that circle was to share
That's
at a
like
deep
very
level.
intimate space.
Right. And they were
Yeah.
able to show up and share intimately. But when we are in the appropriate environment and you can't go there with me, that just we're not aligned. It's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
It's just we're not aligned because
Yeah.
we will not be aligned in the future if we
Yeah.
try to pretend we are now.
And you're not for everyone and everyone's not for you.
No.
And that's okay. Okay. Another one that I think really helps in a new friendship is a micro tradition, whether it's Marco Poloing every day,
I love it.
coffee once a week, a dinner once a month, whatever that is. When you create this micro tradition, I think it will help you connect, dive deeper, prioritize each other. I think
Yeah.
it's really good.
I love that. I think just having rituals that are kind of like almost like you talk about it all the time, like an inside joke, but it's like our inside ritual.
Yeah.
Like we Marco Polo every morning. And
Yeah.
if we don't Marco Polo in the morning, we're wondering like what happened? Are they okay? Like is
Right.
something going on?
Well checked. We're doing
We
well
send,
checked.
yeah, we're sending a text like, are you all right? You didn't get,
Yes.
no, I had this thing going. I couldn't get on it today.
Yeah.
But you create these things that then bond you, right? It's this connection you have.
totally.
That's lovely.
Totally.
Like we're in a spiritual dinner club. I'm in a card club.
Right.
You have these little things that keep you heart to heart every now and
Totally.
then.
Yes, totally. And then the last one I really want to present to you, be willing to outgrow people. Like it's okay. You have to create space for these new, exciting, lovely humans in your life. And sometimes somebody's pulled you in this direction for so long and you're like, I don't like that direction. I'm going to go this way. And it's not, they're not wrong and you're not wrong. It's just that you're on a different path, and let go with like a soft, open hand. Don't hold so tightly. And I think that's like a very healthy practice that happens sometimes. And that holds space for others to come in then.
And guess what? Let them outgrow you. It's okay if they grow in a different direction.
True.
That's all right. If they leave you because they're growing in a different way, that doesn't make your flowers any less beautiful.
Yeah.
It just means they need a different soil to bloom in.
Yeah. And that's okay.
It's so okay. It hurts sometimes, but
that's when you reference the last episode.
That's when you go back and you're just like, what do I do now? We've got you. We've got you.
That's
Go
right.
back
Don't worry.
and
We
listen.
got you. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Anything else you want to add to that, Peggy?
I just think no matter what happens, whether you start slow or you go in hot, it doesn't matter. Just try to connect.
Yes.
You will live longer. You will have happier, healthier lives, literally.
Yes.
Stop being on your phone and calling it connection.
Right. And stop isolating. I know people that they are very, very isolated. And then when there are windows of time that they're around people, they seem happier and lighter, more energetic. It's just so important at all ages, at all times. And I know it can feel sad when you're having a hard time making friends, but just keep going, keep trying. Your future self will thank you for that effort. And yes, it'll be a blessing to you, but it'll also be a blessing to that other person.
Yeah. Be vulnerable. Be willing to make the first move. Be willing to create the thing you wish you had. If it's a book club, if it's a card club, if it's a chat club, whatever it is.
Right. And even if you don't want to like start it, like maybe that's not your personality, join it. Like
Find it.
find a book club at the library. There's like Yahoo meetup groups, I think, and they go hiking, they do service work, they go to like watch a football game somewhere. I mean, the world is so yearning and hungry for connection. There's lots of ways to get connected. Join a church, join a group there, join a Mahjong group, whatever.
Yeah.
But like start just, and you might go to one of these things and not connect with anyone. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Find
Just,
another group and another and another and another until you start collecting great friends. And just like dating, I think the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. The better
yeah.
you're going to get at reading humans. And then you'll find really great friends.
Yeah. Just stay out of victim mode. You get empowered to create the
Yes.
reality you want
Yeah.
because there are plenty of places you can go try on a hat and see if it fits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And be a friend, make the first move, invite the people. And if it's not reciprocated, keep walking, keep going.
Yep, your people are out there. You've got this.
You've got this.
All right, that's our shift for today.
Go live, laugh, and do one bold thing before the next episode drops.
Follow us at No More BullShift and keep the conversation going.
Because if you can't laugh about it,
You probably still need to shift it.